Welcome you and all to another episode of the Global Latin Factor podcast, where we talk about, say it with me, Latino everything. Thank you very much for being here. Make sure you go and subscribe to the channel. All the cameras. You already know what the business is. We reached 1,000+ subscribers thanks to you. We have a long way to go. If you enjoying the community of Latinos, if you are enjoying the content, if you want more presence of Latino content here in YouTube, make sure you go and subscribe and tell somebody to tell somebody. I would love it if you tell that tia that it's really good with carrying the word and the chisme and let her know we're here. Thank you very much. Today, we have an amazing episode. Respects to the gentleman because he came all the way from Houston, Texas, down North 45 this way. We have a Mexican American R&B singer, songwriter, music producer, musician, entertainer from Houston, Texas. He is determined to give a smooth sound to a very classic sound that you already know about. He has a degree in audio engineering, all the way, as I mentioned, from Houston, Texas. Roberto Vieira Jr., a.k.a. Rob B in the house. Hola.
Hola.
How you doing today, sir?
Good. Doing great. Great to be here. I'm happy to be here.
That's what I'm talking about. We're going for great today. Thank you for taking the time. I know it's a long drive,
Yes,
3-4 hours. It shows a lot of commitment for you on what you're doing. So I commend you for that, and I appreciate very much the time. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Hope you enjoy it. Shout out to them Mexicans, TDM.
Them Mexicans. Shout out to David with them Mexicans.
I got that same
You
shirt.
get the same shirt? Yeah.
I had to, as soon as he put it out on social media, I was like, DM, like, hey, what's up, brother?
Yeah.
Where I send you my money? By the way, I support my people. I give them money. I send them my money because I want to support their brand. I said, where do I send you this? I'll send me here. All right, cool. I got the same one. I like it.
Yeah. I had to get two. I had to get the white one as well. I have the white one and then this one. I gotta show support.
It was just something about that particular design. I really enjoyed it. Like, let me get it too.
Yeah.
All right, you ready? We're gonna go ahead and start with a segment that I like to call Preguntas al Chile. If you have not taken the time to subscribe, so you can see the graphics
al Chile.
Carlos put together that we need to redo again so we can give it a different look one of these days. Preguntas al Chile, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
¿Estás listo? Do you like this? Do you like that? Tacos o tortas?
Oh man. Can I say both?
Sure.
Yeah, both.
No pressure. We'll prefer one or the other. However, I know it's challenging, but if you can't turn down. Una torta and 2 tacos on the side.
Oh, yes. But yeah, if I'm really hungry, tortas. If I'm still really hungry, even tacos sometimes. So it just depends. But I love both.
Got to go back in line and order some
I know,
more.
right?
Corn tortilla or flour tortilla?
Corn.
Awesome. Gorditas o sopes?
Gorditas.
Nice. Mexican coca or jarritos? What flavor jarrito?
Oh, I like all of them, but I guess one of my favorite would be the strawberry.
Yeah.
Or strawberry or the orange kind.
Except for the Mexican cola one.
Mexican cola.
You like that one?
I don't think I've tasted that one.
You don't want to.
I don't think I've tasted that one.
You're not missing out on anything. It's so good. Okay. Agua de horchata, Jamaica, or tamarindo? Which one would you prefer?
Horchata.
Horchata?
Yeah.
Okay. And salsa verde or salsa roja?
Salsa verde.
Salsa verde. Team salsa verde all day, every day.
Mm-hmm.
Menudo or pozole?
Oh, man. That's both good, but I might have to go with menudo. We just had that the other day.
You did?
Yes, we just did. So,
do you have a particular person that you get menudo from, or do you make it yourself?
No, we go to one of our favorite places to go to is Jalisco's.
That's the restaurant?
In Houston. Yeah, a restaurant back in Houston, Texas called Jalisco's, and they serve menudo and yeah.
What's particular about their menudo that's really good? A lot of people are very picky about where they get their menudo from.
I agree. I mean, I've had from other places menudo and yeah, it just didn't taste right. But no, it was pretty good. I mean, just the seasoning and the way they make it is pretty good.
Yeah,
it's like I ate the whole thing. So yeah, yeah. So
and back a few times for some more.
Yeah, exactly.
But churros or flan?
Oh man. Both my sugar level will go up on both of them, but I would say flan.
Flan?
Yeah.
Awesome. And Valentina, Tapatio, or Cholula, or Tabasco hot sauce? Which one would you prefer?
not really a big hot spicy guy, but I would say probably Cholula.
Cholula.
Yeah.
Cholula. And then conchita breads, the pastries, you like the white ones, the pink ones, or the brown ones?
Pastries.
Some conchitas,
Yeah,
little pastry breads.
yeah. I guess whichever one tastes good. Probably the pink ones.
Yeah, they're really good too. Okay, so this is way off topic, nothing to do with this or that. A conspiracy theory that you heard one time somebody said, and you were like, that has to be true. No way that's not conspiracy. What would that be?
Conspiracy theory. I would say, well, I probably heard a couple, but I would say when anybody talks about, and especially now in the season of Halloween, as far as like real true horror stuff that's happened. I mean, of course they say it's true story, but then other people's like, oh, it could be a myth as well. So you never really know. And so it's kind of like, I've heard that, and it's kind of, I'm not, with spirits and everything.
So which one did you hear of? Some like maybe a ghost appearing, or maybe La Llorona, or maybe something like that. Anything that you...
Oh yeah. La Llorona and Annabelle. Those are the ones that
yeah. La Llorona's real. She don't need no passport. She's been sighted here in Texas, in California too, by the way.
Yeah.
So yeah. I don't doubt people seen her for real.
Yeah. No, and I've I'm pretty sure, like, and I've heard a lot about La Llorona as well, and that's another one that's kind of like myth, but also true at the same time. And I've seen some, I guess you can say on social media, certain people saying they've seen it, and I'm like,
I've seen close relatives of mine tell me, so it's kind of hard for me to say that I don't believe them.
Yeah,
I wouldn't want to call my relatives liars, and I know they wouldn't be lying to me about it. So I know whatever it was, like, they had seen something.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So I was like, dang, like, no way I can't. There's no way I cannot believe that she's real. I don't understand it. Yeah. I don't understand what it is, but the fact that I know that it's real is a real thing.
That's a possibility. It could be real, yes.
Man, it's more of a,
it
has to be real.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you hear the word Latino, Latina, Latinx, what first comes to mind to you immediately?
I would say Latin American people from Latin America, Central America, stuff like that. That's what I normally, as soon as somebody says Latino or stuff like that, I mean, I consider myself, well, I'm a Chicano, born in the States, Mexican American, but I think I fall into that category as well, as far as Latino as well. And I mean, a lot of people see it a little differently. It's like, because I know Spaniards are more from Europe, and we have the Latinos from Latin America, but the Spaniards are still kind of considered Latinos. I'm assuming, or
more, well, they're still Europeans. Spaniards would be Europeans.
Yes.
One of the other words that gets confused, that gets thrown around with Spaniards, would be Hispanic.
Yeah,
they speak Spanish.
Yeah,
but they're not in the Latin America.
Latin America.
That's why they would be like more Hispanic. But I think technically they're more Europeans. Hispanic because they speak Spanish. That's it. And then because there were apparently some island or a place called Española or something like that. There's a reason why the word Hispanic came to be here in the Americas and things. I believe it.
Okay.
I might be lying to you, but I can double check and Google that. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I be fact checking myself, but I believe that's correct. Okay. And so for you, I know you fall under the category, but do you care if anybody calls you Latino? Do you prefer to be more Mexican American or Chicano? Or Mexican?
I mean, it really doesn't bother me. I mean, I know I'm more Chicano, Mexican blood, Mexican American, Mexican parents, or Mexican American parents, but born here in the States. So I mean, it doesn't really bother me. I know certain other Latinos or Mexicans, it may bother them, but I mean, regardless, when you say it's Latin food, or you already know, I love Latin food. I mean, I've tasted not just Mexican food, but other Latino food, like Puerto Rican dishes as well. And
what does you go to if you, besides Mexican? What would be your second option for food to go to?
We've tried. We've tried. I forgot the name of it, but it's El Salvadoreño food, and I forgot the name of the restaurant, but it's papusas, and we love papusas.
Is it the alarm again? So what had happened was, before the gentleman got here, it was crazy. It's been a crazy day. First of all, we're not gonna cut this off because it's real. There was a car on fire in the freaking basement, and I got stuck.
Wow.
So right now we're still, I guess they're testing the alarms to make sure we're good to go. So even before they got here, they had to wait a little bit, wait for the firefighters to get cleared the whole building. I went downstairs to the garage because that's where the fire was at. There was a car on fire. I got myself stuck down there. Luckily, a gentleman found me. He's like, "What are you doing here? You're not supposed to be here." I'm like, "I don't want to be here, but I don't know how to get out." So he let me out, and I made it. So if y'all hear an alarm, don't worry about it. Just go with it, okay? Back to the question. So what? We were talking about pupusas. So Salvadorian food.
Yeah.
So you like Salvadorians? Would that be your next to go to?
Yes.
Mexican?
Oh yes. We've tasted papusas and even the what is it, the El Salvadoreño tamales that they have, and I didn't even know they had tamales. I was like, when I tasted it tastes pretty good.
Are there the tamales, the big tamales too, that have a bunch of stuff in them?
Yeah, theirs is more I forgot what kind of
banana leaf they put in.
Yes, that's what it is. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
Banana leaf that they use.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what was different, and but it's good. It's good as well.
Latin American food, Peruvian food, Salvadorian food, Puerto Rican food. Man, they got some really good food. Like top cuisines, Peruvian food. If you never had Peruvian food, go try it out. You'll really love it.
Yeah, never.
So yeah, we do definitely Latinos.
Yeah,
have once.
Yeah, never tried it, but I know I would definitely like to try the Peruvian food
for sure. And do you relate yourself more to the word Chicano because is that something you grew up at that time when you were growing up that you heard more, or what is? I mean, I'm not saying you prefer to be, but you kind of sort of fall in line with that word more a little bit for yourself. Why is that?
Yeah, I guess because being Mexican American, growing up in in the United States, Houston, specifically. I mean, like the Mexicans or the Chicanos that I grew up with as well, we were considered Chicanos. I mean, we grew up Mexican. I mean, we grew up American, but we have our household was Mexican and stuff like that. So we pretty much had I guess you could say, the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
So I mean, being considered Chicano, I don't see a problem, being Chicano. Like when when they have Chicano festivals, I'm like, hey, I can kind of fit in there a little bit,
Absolutely. You're right. It's interesting you say that, right? Best of both worlds, but sometimes not the best of both worlds either, right? Because you have the beautiful culture of the U.S. that you get to embrace, and then you have the beautiful culture of the Mexican. But you also get those that the Mexicans sometimes don't want to embrace you so much because you're not technically Mexican.
Yeah.
But then the Americans, all you see is a Mexican.
Yes. Yes. That, I mean, I've definitely had that, and and being Chicano, Mexican American, like the Mexicans from Mexico, I understand they have their own views and their own ways of looking at things and doing things, and I've always kind of, I guess you could say, felt a little left out.
Yeah.
Because they say, oh, well, I'm a Chicano, I speak more English, or I act more American and stuff like that than to be like Mexicano. But I'm like, well, that's the way I was brought up. That's the way I was raised. My household, my sisters all speak English. There's a couple of them that speak a little Spanish here and there, but we grew up more more American. My dad's from Nuevo Laredo.
Nice.
And my mom's from Chicago, Illinois, so born and raised. So, I kind of got the best of both worlds there too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, shout out to my parents. I love your mom, dad. I love y'all.
That's awesome.
Hopefully they watch it.
They forget that a lot of people forget, mucha gente se les olvida que como buen mexicano uno nace donde se le pega la regalada gana, meaning whether you were born here or not. We Mexicans are born wherever they freaking feel like.
Yep.
Whether we'll be here or somewhere else, if you got the blood, you're Mexican to the core. I know the old people are close-minded. Sometimes they want to accept it, but un mexicano nace donde se le pega La regalada gana. It means here in the States.
Yes. And I'm glad didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry. But I'm and what I like too is that, you know, it's good to see Mexicans or like Mexican Americans or Chicanos like everywhere. Like, you know, you have, you know, and that makes me feel proud when I see other Mexican Americans or just Mexicans doing things, you know, big things like, you know, doing stuff that they would think Mexicans or Latinos wouldn't do or wouldn't, I guess you could say conquer or wouldn't, you know, be considered doing because I know the outsiders kind of view us a little different.
Yep.
And I know that there's a lot of we have a lot of culture, we have a lot of talent, a lot to give, and it's lots of times it gets looked over.
Yeah, and it's cool that even yourself take the bravery to do music, jump into, because it's not something common.
Yes.
A lot of us, our people coming up, they'll be like either working at our job or whatever. More recently, a few years, people started getting their own jobs, their own companies, and they started working on that instead of just being in a factory working for the man. They started just expanding, and music was one thing, rap, acting. All of a sudden, we start embracing those roles because we can. Why not?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't be part of the things that we are able to do?
Yeah.
Why are we going to be the ones that cut the grass all the time or work in construction? Nothing wrong with them, but I'm saying there's more.
Yeah, there's more
than still do than that. You can still continue to further expand whatever it is that you want to do, and not limit yourself into those particular jobs that everybody stereotypes. Not everybody, but a lot of people stereotype that this is the things that you're able to do. Like, no, there's no box.
Yeah,
you can do whatever we feel like.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever you put your mind to, you can make it happen.
Yeah,
you know, and just because you're Latino or Hispanic or, you know, Mexican American, don't look at yourself and doubt yourself or you know, put yourself down and say, oh no, I can't, I'm Mexican, I can't do this. No, why not? I mean, if you got the talent or if that's what's in your heart, follow your heart. I mean, whether it doesn't matter if it's music or whatever, you know, if that's what you want to do, open up your own business, start your own clothing line or whatever, you know, do it, but do it with all your heart.
And not to mention, we tend to forget that if you're a lot of Latinos, a lot of Mexicans, Latinos too, they're from Mayan blood, from Aztec blood, and they made a magnificent, like if it wasn't for the Mayans, we wouldn't have zero. Number zero, which is very important in mathematics. If it wasn't for the Mayans and the Aztecs, we wouldn't have certain things that we have. And those are the ancestors and the blood that runs through our veins that we tend to forget. And they were capable of doing those things way back in the days. If we can remember that, imagine what are the things that we are able to do now. Instead of like, oh, you're just a Mexican, you this and that. No, we come from some very, very impressive people in the history of humanity.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so let's get to the interview part. So, do you know a little bit of your history of your parents? I know your mom's from Chicago, and then your dad's from Nuevo Laredo. Do you know how they got? Well, your mom's been here all her life.
She grew up in. My mother was born and raised in Chicago, Illinois. I don't know exactly what part of Chicago, but I know she was born and raised. All my tios, all her brothers, they are born and raised in Chicago as well. My father was born in Nuevo Laredo and then was brought over with my grandma and my tios and tias. He said they were brought by train from Nuevo Laredo to Chicago, because at the time my grandfather was working in Chicago and my grandfather was a musician. So he played in a cumbias band.
Oh, nice.
From what I known and what I was told as well. So,
and they're all from Tamaulipas for Nuevo Laredo?
I think he is. I mean, my dad never really spoke too much about that, but I think he might be from there. I know he always said Nuevo Laredo. Yeah, but you know,
it's crazy to know that existed, right? Because I know a gentleman that he said he got to the States illegally, but they used to jump in the train and just let the train take them wherever. And they know they were going to get to the United States. Yeah. So they get in the train, wherever it just stops, there's where they get off. They're already in Norte, and then just start making their way and like getting jobs and just establishing themselves in whatever community they landed. Yeah. So it's crazy that one all the way from Tamaulipas all the way to Chicago.
Yeah, that's a long.
Yeah, that's a long way.
Yeah, that's definitely a long way. That's what I thought myself. And my dad, so he grew up in Chicago, of course. Learned English in Chicago, and then my dad was in the Army. He got drafted into the Army and got his citizenship.
Oh wow,
That's how he got his citizenship in the Army. So
that's pretty cool.
yeah, so that's why I was, that's as one of my dad's accomplishments. I'm glad to say speak on.
Absolutely, I
Yeah.
appreciate your dad's service. I'm a veteran
Yeah.
myself. I say it all the time, by the way. I ain't gonna stop saying it, but I appreciate it. Now it's not easy to be, and not to mention to be drafted.
Yeah.
Like at least I volunteered to go over there.
Yeah,
He was like,
he got drafted.
They didn't
Yeah,
give it a choice.
yeah.
Do you want to go? No, we're
Yeah.
going, homie. Come on.
Yeah, that's exactly.
And your mom's family, do you know where they come from? What part of Mexico? How many generations?
Yeah, that I don't know. I know my I don't know where because honestly I'm the youngest out of my brother and my sisters. I have like 4 older sisters and 1 older brother. Well, I had 1 older brother. I'm the baby, so by the time I was born, I'm pretty sure that my parents had plenty of practice. So, but as far as that question, so my grandma on my mom's side, she was still alive, but she was already blind at the time. She was already older, blind at the time, and she spoke more Spanish than she did English, but she could speak English, or she could understand it, stuff like that. But that me being young, I really didn't get the chance to really ask my mother, hey, what part of Mexico was my grandma from? So, but I don't really know. I mean, that'll be definitely something I can find out. I can ask my sisters ask my sisters, or hopefully speak with my mom, and maybe she'll be able to tell me.
Yeah, I'm just always, for me, I'm curious about that part, because I know sometimes people have interesting stories about how they made it over, how they made it to the States, what brought them, the reason why, like that train thing. That's really crazy that they were able to take that chance, jump on the train, not even knowing, and landed in Chicago.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
And it was my dad and like 3 other uncles and my aunt, my tia. So, and they were all kids. And my grandma said, "Come on, let's go."
It's like that. Like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is the earliest memory for you as far as getting involved with music? Of course, they mentioned that it's kind of a little bit in the blood, because your grandfather used to be in a cumbia band. But as far as for you, what is the earliest memories of you getting into music, or being kind of sort of like discovering music, or what music was?
I would say back in when I was in, I guess you say, middle school. I was always asked to be in R&B groups.
Really?
And it was crazy. I'm like, the only Mexican boy asked to be in R&B groups, and I'm like, okay. I'm like, I didn't know. I mean, what I knew about R&B was, what I heard on the radio and mainstream in Houston. So, but didn't really know that I can, sing until I actually started getting into the, groups. And then that's when I was like, okay, well, maybe I could do this a little bit. And, so I just started developing from there. My vocals just started developing.
So prior to that, you never sang ever? Never? How did they discover that you know how to sing?
Oh, what do you mean, like my friends?
Like your friends? Like, what was the first crew that invited you to join their R&B group? Do you remember them?
Yeah, I remember. I don't remember the name, but I remember. I know the name of my guys that I still keep in touch with them now. One of my boy Brian Angel. Shout out to Brian Angel. My boy Shimon Lee. They were the main 2 that really got me into singing and doing.
And how did they knew that you knew how to sing?
Well, I guess because we were in choir.
Oh,
yeah,
so
we were in choir in middle school, and being in choir, that's how they were in choir with me, and that's how they found, oh yeah, he can sing. So then we would stay after school and practice, rehearse as a group, and
really
just build that, building our sound and just really developing our voices.
That's pretty cool.
So yeah, it was pretty cool.
What made you want to get into choir? Why did you want to? Was it just a no choice? You got to get in somewhere, or your friends kind of?
I would say because I think in 6th grade, honestly, in 6th grade, I was in band at first, and then but I was always friends with like my boy Brian Angel and my boy Shimon. I was always friends with them. They were like, man, she should get in choir. We're in choir, man. It's cool, and they get your friends.
Don't lie, there was a bunch of girls in choir.
Yeah, that too. That's hey man, they got girls over there in choir, man. And I was like, for real? I was like, okay. And then The next semester I changed to get into choir, and I was finally able to
Nice.
get into choir, and it was fun. I mean, we were able to sing, go to different places, different events, and sing with the choir, and so that actually taught me. Well, I learned how to sing from there, and it also taught me how to use my voice and harmonies. Learn how to sing with other people.
Oh, nice.
So yeah,
So it's not only just knowing how to sing, it's knowing how to sing with other people too.
yeah, knowing how to sing and harmonize, and knowing harmonies,
Yeah.
and knowing your vocal range and stuff like that. So
Did that group ever take off anywhere? Were y'all doing any kind of gigs by yourselves, anything like that?
we did at one point, we I know it was I can't remember the group, like it was so long ago, but I remember we did sing for some we did sing at it was another high school that we were singing at, and I remember we were on stage performing, and it was some I forgot, some rep that was there from a certain label. I can't remember now. It's been so long. I know, I'm pretty sure my boys remember.
I mean, you tap into the closet of memories right now. Like,
yeah, I'm like, ooh, let me think. I mean, but yeah, there was a rep there. I can't remember, but we did outside of school, outside of choir, we did perform different places at schools and stuff like that. And I think we even performed at another high school. Was in Magnolia, Magnolia, Texas. We performed at that school as well, and was also in a play, because one of the guys that was in the group was not just a singer; he also wrote plays.
oh wow.
And so that was a play and in the play we were one of the scenes was us singing. So he incorporated his R&B group into the play.
Nice.
So it was like, yeah, so he was very talented.
How did you feel when you first started getting to know how to sing? Because I'm pretty sure were you a natural singing, or once you got into choir after a little bit of time, you realized, oh, this is how you do it?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of, I guess me learning how to sing, from being in choir, and then just singing my favorite songs on the radio. That's what made me really realize, like, oh wow, I can actually sing these songs, and I can actually do something like that. Because I didn't, I was just listen to the radio and hear favorite songs, and of course, you hear them, every hour on the hour. So it's kind of, you start learning the words, and that's so I started learning the words, and I'll sing along with them. Like, wow, I can actually hit these ranges and sing, do this, do that, and I was like, wow, okay, and so that's what kind of made me say, okay, maybe I can do this. Maybe maybe I can. And then, like I said, it also runs in the family.
Yeah.
Because on my mother's side, I do have I had uncles that played in a band
Also.
over there as well. So yeah, there's music on both sides of my family.
Nice.
So yeah, my uncles played. They played all different kind of music. But
Regional mostly, or different.
I think it was like all different. I think I'm pretty sure they play cumbia, Spanish music, all different kinds, rock music. I mean, I didn't know. I really didn't know, because I didn't grow up in Chicago. I was born in Houston. But my older sisters, they, when they were young, they would hear my tios playing, and cousins playing, and playing music in the background, or down, because my cousins and my family on that side, they didn't stay too far from where my mom and my sisters lived.
Were you born in Chicago, or were you born here in Houston?
I was born in Houston.
So what brought your parents to, or your mom and your dad to Houston?
I guess I'm pretty sure a few things, but I think my dad just wanted, I guess, a better life for I would say, like, my sisters at the time, because I wasn't born yet when they moved down here.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming he wanted a better life for my sister, so they moved on down here, and started going to high school here, and or stuff like that, and they eventually made lives down here and got married and stuff like that. So I'm thinking just a better life. I would say, I don't know if at that time, Chicago was, getting bad or something. I don't know.
It's a little crazy. It's been crazy for some time. I don't know, a lot of people were driven away for the same reason. That were
that's
vandalism, theft, all kinds of stuff. It's like, hey, it's getting kind of crazy.
Yeah, and I think that might have been one of the reasons my dad moved. And then like a few years later, I was born here in Houston. So I mean, I as a kid, I went back and forth to Chicago. So
I mean, besides the original group that y'all sang at Magnolia and other one, what other R&B groups were you part of? Do you remember any of them?
Yeah, there was a well, the one that I do remember now, the one that I did sing with at in Magnolia, Texas was it I think it was emo I'm a pat no, not mixed emo, I think it was Passion. Yeah,
Passion.
and we had an R&B group named Passion.
Nice.
Yeah, we had an R&B group Passion. And then um after that, I think like in high school, I really didn't. I was just more in choir in high school.
Mm-hmm.
I really didn't. Um, we had little groups there in choir as well. Oh, we had another one in high school was Image.
Image.
That was one
Yeah.
that we in high school was Image. So that's one of the groups I had in high school. And then after I got out, after graduating high school, just was really just doing more. I guess you could say singing solo, but also trying to look for another like R&B group. And one of the last ones I did have was Endure.
Indoor.
Yeah, it was
What kind of stuff did y'all do together?
We didn't. I guess you could say last that long, but we did actually sing. We were trying to I guess find our sound and sing together and stuff like that. This one was more. You could say was more of a like a Hispanic group. It was all the R&B, and that was pretty cool because at that time, that wasn't something that was heard of, and I was like, yo, man, I told the guys we can really do something, man.
Yeah.
If we buckle down and focus and really take this serious. So, but I guess it just didn't work or whatever. So, but we did get a chance to sing um one of I think was it one of our songs for the Barrio Boys. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I remember the Barrio Boys.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a minute ago.
they came
yeah.
because they had I think like a Selena Fest thing and
Barrio Boys.
like I think it was a 10-year, 20-year that was in Houston. And it was at the Hilton downtown Houston. I remember, and I remember one of the guys that was in the group was like, hey, that Barrio Boys are right, here at the Hilton. And I was like, for real? And we were like, hey, well, can we come down and can we? Because he knew he knew Body Boy's manager.
Yeah.
And well, he knew the Body Boys too. So, and I was like, well, hey man, can we come down there? Can we sing for him? And they were like, yeah. He was like, come on. So we all met. I said, hey, I called everybody. We all called each other. Hey, let's meet at the Hilton. And we met and we went. We met in the lobby. I met the Body Boys and we sang for them. I remember we did that.
You were singing a cappella at that time?
No, there was no music.
No music
we
whatsoever.
just sang a cappella.
And the songs you were talking about, y'all songs with something y'all composed together with no track yet? It's just a cappellas?
Yeah. Well, there was one song that we were original song that we were actually working on. So we did have instrumentation to it, but it was a song that was written by a friend of mine that he it was like, here, you guys can sing this song. So, and I'm trying to think, was that the song that we sang to him, or because I know we did a lot of we did a cover song, something I guess you could say from Jagged Edge.
So what did they think for y'all
singing? Well, I think I thought they were impressed or whatever, stuff like that. And I remember they were just telling us, hey, keep doing it, keep singing and stuff like that. And we were like, yeah, I mean, we were all excited. I was excited. I mean, it's like, Hispanic R&B group, man.
Is it like the biggest thing that happened to you so far as your early music career?
That's one of them.
Yeah.
That's one. Yeah. That'll be one that I won't forget. I mean, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool. So
that's pretty dope.
Yeah.
Okay. So after that, you keep traveling your music, you start focusing a little bit on the solo. When did you just decide, you know what, let me just do that by myself and then focus? I know about 5 years ago, you got a whole lot more serious with the music. But what exactly drove you to want to just focus more, buckle down, like you said earlier, and start working on your own material?
Well, I guess I was like, well, hey, this is either I'm gonna do music, I'm gonna sing for the rest of my life, or I'm gonna work a 9 to 5. Or like work for somebody else or work for the band, like they say. So I had to make a decision. I was like, well, I mean, what do I love to do? And I know you always hear, do what you love to do. And so I was like, well, I love to sing. I think I'm good at it. So I was like, okay, well, let me take this serious as a solo artist. Let me take this serious. I mean, yes, I was definitely nervous, and because I was like, okay, I've never really sang too much as a solo artist. I was always in R&B groups,
Right.
but now I'm like, so I just kind of had to just find my way. Of course, having like musical friends that do music as well, and you know, they actually helped me and guided me too. You know, to be, hey, you need songs. I got you. You know, the right songs, or we get in the studio and write together. Making the instrumentation, stuff like that, or meeting other producers or other songwriters through them. And that's what kind of just, you know, was like, okay, I think I can do this. And then just, you know, of course, me singing cover songs and stuff like that, and, you know, putting them on social media. And it was like, man, you know, seeing, you know, that the reaction or the views, I'm like, man, I think, you know, I can actually do this as a
Right.
solo artist. And so I was like, you know, I just got to perfect, you know, just be serious about it, and be consistent, and perfect my craft.
Yeah.
So then that's when I actually started going to a community college for audio engineering. Well, I took audio engineering, but I also took private voice lessons as well, because I still wanted to, you know, make sure I perfect my singing, and just have other ways of knowing how to sing without having to strain or blow my voice out.
Oh yeah.
And then also learn the back end stuff too, because that was another thing that I was like, I need to learn the back end, as far as learning how to record in the studio, record other people in the studio, knowing you knowing, you know, EQs and compression and stuff
Which
like
one's your
that, and
plugins?
yeah,
Which
plugins,
ones
stuff like
thing?
that,
Right.
and learning that, because I even you know, I told myself, I was like, if I can learn that too, that's another income I can bring in as well. Not
Yeah.
you know, not that if I need to step back from the singing a little bit, I can fall back on the audio engineering
Yeah.
and just engineer, and still kind of, you know, make some money from that, to be able to, you know, survive, and just put that into my music, and me as a solo artist.
So you went and got the whole degree. You graduated.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Congratulations.
So thank you, yeah.
And from that, did you see it also as like, I don't know if you like to record yourself or not, but going into a studio sometimes it's a little pricey depending on who you go, or who's the engineer, who's whatever the studio might be. Did you find yourself that you didn't mind recording yourself, or you just see it as an additional income, but still take those funds and go to another studio so they can record you?
Well, the way I do it, you know, I just have somebody else record me, but I do like recording myself, because then I get to, you know, take my time, and if I mess up, well, that's what the studio is for anyway. You mess up, you do it till you get it right.
Yeah.
And then I get to, once I get, you know, one part done, I'm like, all right, that's when I start adding harmonies and stuff like that, and I start playing with my vocals. I'm like, okay, I could do this and do that, and it's like, wow. And then next thing I know, I'm like, man, that sounds good. Like, so it's to me, it's just being creative with it.
Yeah.
So I do like doing it, but most of the time, I you know, right now I've just been really just, you know, having someone, hey, you know, sing this or sing that. I mean, I can follow direction too. If, you know, somebody's, hey, sing this or sing it this way, sing that way, I can follow direction, but I can also record myself, and you know, record myself Pro Tools, stuff like that as well. So
Is that what you like to use?
Pro Tools predominantly, yes.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, and that's what I'm more savvy at as far as engineering. Pro Tools. I'm learning Logic as well. I know there's some other ones like Cubase. I don't really know too much about that, but
Right.
I mean, as long as if the engineer knows, you know, what he's doing on Cubase to record me, make sure we have a good sound and capture the sound well, then I have no problem with it. Let's record, and, you know, let's make music.
And did you, once you've done it and get it wherever you wanted to record it, or somebody recorded it, do you mix and master yourself? Or did you got a person that you like to go to?
Well, normally I do have an engineer that I take my music to once. I mean, I don't mix and master it. The guy, my guy that records me, he does a rough mix.
Yeah.
Or you know, and then after that, we, you know, once we send a session, or I take the session to set up a session with my engineer, and then take him the session, or I email it to him, and he has a session. We leave the vocals dry and everything, so he can remix and stuff like that, and then he does an
You give
amazing
him like
job.
a reference of what you needed to, which out the idea of it, and then let him do his magic on it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I want to give a shout out to my engineer Bruce Bang back in Houston, Texas. Man, he's actually mixed on my music really. So and it sounds phenomenal too, man. So that's why I trust him a lot with because he sings as well and he knows not just hip hop or rap or whatever,
He's
but he
got
also
that
knows
ear for a
singing. Yes,
singer.
yeah, and that's why lots of times with the harmonies blending them, you got to blend them a certain way, and you got to know how to make them backgrounds and leave the leads and stuff like that. And I don't really have to say too much. He knows, and I was like, hey, let's try this or let's try it. He's like, all right, cool, and we tried, and if it works, cool. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And we just keep moving.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
yeah.
So what will be your process for you to create music? What is your creative process? Do you get the track? I know you do features, but do you like to get the track? Do you like to start from zero? Go with a producer that knows how to, maybe you have an idea, like maybe a harmony or something you want to build from there and then create the beat? Or do you like to listen to some beats and go from there?
Mostly it's listen to the beat and then go from there. But sometimes with me it's a little different. Like creativity hits me different.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes I can be not listening to anything and just have melodies in my head and I start singing and I'm like, oh, I like that, and I'll hurry up and try to record it on my phone or on my voice recorder or whatever. And then other times, I'll get beats from producers and then listen to it and be like, and then start vibing with it. I normally start off with melodies. That's what I do for the songs. I start off with melodies first and then go back and put lyrics but it just depends because sometimes I can start off with lyrics and then put the melody right to it. It's just, I guess it just depends on my, how I'm creative that day.
Yeah.
But most of the time I start off with melodies.
And did I know you're saying somebody else was writing previously before for you, or some people send you songs. Do you like that, or you like to write it yourself? Make sure that you do everything.
Well, I like.
Thank you so much for being here today and checking out this amazing episode. Make sure you go and subscribe to the channel and leave a comment and a like. And now back to the episode.
I like both because like my songwriter that I go to, he has a lot of good ideas when it comes to writing. Sometimes don't get me wrong, I get a writer's block as they call it, and I'm like, I don't know what to write. I mean, I try to think things, and sometimes I have to step away from it and come back months later, and then something hits me right there. Sometimes it doesn't. It just depends. And but with my songwriters, they normally they hear it, they can write it more on the spot. So I don't write it as quick. It just depends on when creativity hits me. But I would like, and especially on my new project that I'm working on, I'm being a little bit more hands on writing.
Okay. So let's talk about that. You have a project out.
Yeah. With DTYLA.
And that stands for?
Don't Take Your Love Away.
Don't Take Your Love Away.
Yeah.
And that's an EP or a whole album?
That's an EP.
That's an EP. And when did the idea of you wanting to go ahead and do that for you, like create an EP for yourself? And how did that process go for you?
Yeah. Well, I know, because I know, excuse me, creating EP, I was like, I was thinking too, because I know nowadays, nobody's really buying albums or downloading albums. So that's why I was like, well, I don't want to, record all these songs and not, they only listen to maybe 3 to 5 of them. So I'm like, okay, well, let's just do a small, and this is my first EP. So I'm like, let's start off small. Let's do, a 6-song EP and just see how it goes from there and stuff like that. And,
did you do any singles prior to that to build to that EP?
Well, we did, I had 2 of them, which was, D2LA and Right Now.
Right Now.
Yeah. My single Right Now. The reason why I named it D2LA was because that was the first song that was recorded for the EP. And that was actually the first song I written by myself.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So that whole song is you?
Yeah, that's all me. Nice. Don't Take Your Love Away. That's the first song I've written by myself. The other songs I co-wrote with my songwriter.
Mm-hmm.
But that one was just me. And I already had the instrumental track to it. Track for D2LA, the track was done by Tony Sway. Shout out to Tony Sway, my boy Tony Sway. He produced the track. That was the first song, and I was like, wow, that I still love that song, and today that song's, I'm like, if I can write this, then I can I can continue to keep writing good songs like that, and so that's what that song started the whole EP. So that's why
what
I was
was
like,
the inspiration behind that song and the lyrics for it?
I guess at that time, I'm thinking I might have been going through something. So I think that's what just I guess helped me to write that song.
So you channel those feelings of things that you have going on to help you write the lyrics and help you give it
Yeah.
emotion.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes. And lots of time, and I know they say, when in music, it's good to always use life experience and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
and in that case, I was going through some stuff right at that time. So I used, that experience, and I just, I wrote that. It took me a couple times because I wrote it a few times, a few different times. But this last time that I wrote it is what you hear now on the EP. I was like, yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. And then, that to me, that's how it felt, and it fit perfect. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna stick with that. I'm not gonna, because I had like 2-3 other different verses, and they were good, but it just didn't fit right. And then this one, they fit right. And then there's also was what I was trying to say.
And how long was the entire process for you to complete the EP? How long did it
actually,
take you?
I think it probably took me. I would say maybe like a month and a half, month and a half too long.
Really?
It didn't take like, yeah. Once we recorded D2LA, I got with my guy, and he was like, hey, let's stay consistent. Let's keep recording. So there was like the next song, and then after that, not in the same day, but it was like I come like the next weekend.
It was pretty fast paced.
Yeah,
you were on a mission.
It was
to get
like
it done.
pretty much every weekend we were recording 1 or 2 songs.
Oh,
So we had
nice.
it knocked out pretty quick, and then we got it mixed.
Tell me about the cover, because the cover, I don't know if I read it incorrectly, but I believe it said Robert V at that time. Were you messing around with the name? Were you changing it around? Did you have made your name going with Rob V instead? Was it easier?
Yeah, I was messing around. I was like, should I go with Robert V? Or should I go with Rob V? I was like, I was just going back and forth with it. I was like, I mean, I like both, but Robert's kind of a little bit longer than Rob V. Rob V is a little bit shorter, and so I was like, well, I guess I'll just on this EP it was Robert V, but I said, but my next projects I'll start with Rob V, stuff like that, and now me building my brand and me building my name. More people know me as Rob V than Robert V. So I'm like, okay, well, we'll just stick with that, Rob V. But I mean, I can always, later, like, yeah, it's Robert V, and, because that's my first name. So I can always extend it.
So it's a play on your real name.
Yeah.
And was there any other names that you wanted to go? You want to go with something cool? Smooth V, Smooth Robert V. Anything else? Any other names made the runner up?
I tried, but I was like, I don't know. I was like, cause, let's see, Robert V. And my middle name's Paul, so I was like, I don't know if I want to do Robert Paul. Like, how look at myself as an artist, Robert Paul. And I was like Paul V. Or I was like, nah.
How about a telenovela named Roberto Pau B? No,
I was thinking, I was like Roberto or Roberto. I was like Roberto. Like Roberto V, like GQ, like Roberto.
Hey, you gotta
Roberto
give it
V.
Hey, that's got a ring to
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Hey, one of the songs could be alter ego Roberto P.
Yeah.
Roberto P.
Yeah.
Roberto PB. That's pretty cool. Okay, so finally you get the EP done. You started working on the admin part, how to distribute it, where to go to. Did you figure out that yourself, or did you get somebody to help you out to do that part? As far as where to go to, where to take your song, how to get it distributed, how to go ahead and get it in all platforms.
Yeah, I mean, I did I did do my research, but I also had help with, people that I knew that helped me. Like my songwriter, he helped me. Hey, once we get this EP recorded or completed, all the vocals, everything, take it to his engineer is Bruce Bang. So, which now became my engineer. So I took it to him, and Bruce Bang, he's mixed for, a lot of different people that are on the radio now.
Oh, wow.
So, and then, hearing how he mixed my whole EP, I was like, oh yes, I was sold. I was like, yes. I mean, even the first song, but I was sold on the whole, how he put, mixed and mastered the whole EP. I was sold. I was like, yeah, he's my go-to engineer.
How big was an investment for that particular project?
I did spend some money, but I really think it was worth it. because again, this was done all independent. It wasn't I wasn't with a label or anything like that. As just independent Ravi music, and at the time I had a management at that time too that was helping me a little bit here and there. So it was a good bit that we spent, but I mean I think it was worth it.
Did he showed you where to go to register your music, whether it be ASCAP, BMI, and as far as getting your royalties?
I think I was already registered with ASCAP because been doing it so long. I was registered with ASCAP. I registered myself years back. It's just didn't really have material yet to upload to ASCAP. Now I do. Now I have my whole EPs on ASCAP, but and then just going to school for audio engineering as well. You also learn, if you're not in those classes, from people that you're in class with, or that's how you learn stuff like, hey, make sure your songs are registered with ASCAP or BMI, PRO, Performing Rights Organization, or make sure if you want to get your music online, you can put it on TuneCore, CD Baby, DistroKid, stuff like that.
So you're already learning from them. Yeah, they were doing it too. They had the same inspirations.
Yeah, and I seen other artists as well that had this stuff, and I was like, oh, okay, so I would go more towards that to try to get it on there right now, and then also too then after I know I started hearing more about distribution, like as far as like labels, or just like other companies having distribution to where they like you can go straight to like personally talk with them instead of going through like online, like TuneCore, stuff like that. You can actually go talk with them, and there's an office you can meet with them, and it was as far as distribution. So that's what I started looking in more.
Yeah. And what was the difference between indie, just yourself, and no label whatsoever, and them going to a particular label that you can distribute? What was the difference, or what was the benefit to go with a particular label just for distribution? Was there any perks? Was there anything additional that will be able to help you to actually reach more people?
I did think about it, but my main thing was like I'm already doing my company Ravi Music was already doing all the stuff that the labels were doing anyway. The only what I was lacking was like promotion, marketing, and distribution. So I was like, as far as getting in the studio, I had several access to different studios plus my studio. I had songwriters to help me write, or I write myself. I can get producers, or I produce a little bit myself. I play the keys as well, the piano as well. So that part wasn't the hard part. It was just like, okay, promoting and social media, getting people, to get it to where, you have somebody doing your social media every day, all day, stuff like that, promoting, marketing, distribution, to where you can go with a distribution to where they're like, I guess you could say the middleman, and, they may be distributed through Empire or Sony, stuff like that, but they just have distribution. So I'm like, okay, well, that's what my brand needs, Ravi Music.
Okay, so explain to me this. So when I think distribution, see if you go to CD Baby or any other distributors, and you go there, if you upload your music there, you select where it needs to go to, it gets distributed to it. Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah.
But what did they do different? They were telling you different.
I look at it as they're more like the middleman. They still distribute iTunes, Amazon, Google Play, stuff like that, all online as well. And then I think that some of them, what they do is we also shoot your videos. We also, if we put your stuff online, we're also gonna have it to where we have somebody working your social media. So it's kind of like what labels do too. It's kind of like that we'll work your social media to where, hey, your Instagram, you will constantly have content, stuff like that, to where every day you instead of you always having to be doing content as an artist and then having to record, they let you you focus more on that. So it is kind of like a label.
I heard some label or some distribution labels. Part of the things they do too is they have a lot of playlists that your song gets played to, because that's where it's at. Putting it on playlists, it's beneficial for you where
Mhm.
you song. I'm talking about hundreds and thousands of playlists,
Mhm.
not just 1 or 2 or 20 or 30,
Mhm.
because you'll be able to see the movement. And Spotify, Apple Music, they're not against that because the bigger labels do it.
Mhm.
They have all these playlists that they send to the curators, and they will be able to. You'll be able to see the numbers.
Mhm.
But you can do it independently, of course, because there's a bunch of playlist distributors, which I do it too. I have some music. I recorded some music, and I put it in there. I have 20,000 streams here, 10,000 streams there, but it's
Mhm.
all through that.
Yeah.
Not to the labels,
Yeah.
to curators or playlists. They'll be able to put it in certain places and be able to move the
Yeah.
numbers.
Yeah. That's and that too. Um, Having some of those distribution companies putting you on playlists, that definitely helps artists. For me, I know that would definitely help me
Yeah,
because it's not just like you said, it's not just like one or two different playlists. It's like multiple, like a whole.
yeah,
Yeah, and this is where you want to be heard, like this, like Spotify
yeah.
and I think other places as well.
Did you do any of that stuff when you were working in your song, when you were working your EP?
Yeah. Well, my DT Wale EP, I did have it online for a while. Um, I went through, was it TuneCore?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the one, the ones that
Yep.
are online. But from there, I was like, well, I wanted to see. I was like, well, let me. I brought it. I took it off because I mean, of course, the management at that time that I was with, we kind of parted ways and did our own thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so from there, I was like, okay, well, I need to get my music back online. So I'm like, so should I, go with back to TuneCore or CD Baby or whatever, or go with more of a distribution? And I was thinking, well, let me see about going with more of a distribution. So right now, we're in that transition right now. That's where Ravi Music is in that transition of
Mm-hmm.
getting stuff with back online, iTunes, Amazon, Google Play. But just I guess deciding which distribution we want to go to, which one will be the best now that there's more that's starting to
Gotcha.
more, I guess, in the industry now, distribution. So
Is there a particular label that you're having serious conversations yet, or you still shopping
no,
around?
no, not right now. I mean, not right now, not the moment. Just really just staying focused, recording, make sure you're having recording new records, new songs, and just trying to stay busy and consistent. And then, hopefully, me doing the work, or me putting in the work, that'll, get attention of the labels, and then we can start having that discussion.
Nice.
Yeah.
How was the input? How was the feedback for people, the music, the spectators, the fans? If you want to use that word, how was it as far as the music? What were they saying? What were you seeing online? And what would you have done better? I know that it was your first EP and there was issues with the late, or not issues, but just y'all parted ways
With the management, yes.
with the management.
Yeah, with the management, yeah.
But with all that, what would you have done different for the first actual EP you launched? And but what was the good things that you learned from it?
The good things I learned was knowing how to I know how to put an EP together, knowing how to um record faster, record quicker, um and just knowing how to. This EP also helped me as far as performance wise, as far as doing my shows, like live performances. It helped me to, like, okay, because that was another step that we before me and the management party was, I was doing shows, and I was like, that I got to work on, me being a solo artist now, I got to work on engaging with the, with the fans, and singing, and just knowing how to work the crowd. And so that's what this EP also started helping me with too, because
Nice.
of the songs that I have. So, it kind of, what you could say is it helped me build my confidence. So the EP did help.
And what about the feedback as far as the sound, the words, a particular song that stood out more than all the other ones? As people
Well,
were telling you?
yeah, I guess there were some people that, oh yeah, I like this song from this EP, I like that, and like that, and yeah, that did help. That did motivate me more, like, because the fans are important. And so when they would tell me that, I was like, that would definitely motivate me to want to continue to keep doing shows, and to continue to keep recording new songs and new records. But yeah, the fans are important, always important. I always try to make sure I make time after shows to
Mhm.
to engage with them. Take pictures, do your social media, stuff like that. But yeah, I think just I guess you could say the input or the response from the fans is what kind of it motivates me.
Okay.
And even now,
for the bookings, was it something that you were getting paid for the gigs, or were you just trying to put yourself out there to people recognize this material that you were putting out, as far as whenever you got to perform and let them know to go check it out on whatever platform you had the song at that time?
yeah. Well, I mean, at the time, yeah. I mean, no, I wasn't really paying for shows. Sorry, I wasn't
getting paid
for, I
or paid
wasn't-
for shows,
Yeah,
because there's people that will take your money to perform too.
Yeah. No. I wasn't getting paid to do shows. Yes, I was. I did pay to do shows. Still doing. Still paying to do shows. But it's more like, knowing which shows to take and know which ones like nah and stuff like that. But I mean, to me, I see it as building my brand, building my sound, because
Right.
nobody's really, like I said, I'm still building my brand. There's people that have heard of me, but then again, there's people that haven't.
Right.
And so I'm just, you really should trying to build my brand as far as singing, or just having the fans engage more with me.
Yeah.
And stuff like that, and me engaging with the fans. So I mean, right now, it's, like I said, it's a grind, it's a hustle.
Yeah.
You gotta make it happen till you get to the point to where you start becoming a household name, to where it's like, hey, well, I want to come pay to see you and stuff like that. And
Yeah, and I'm not criticizing for if you pay or
Yeah.
not get paid.
Yeah.
I mean, again, you got your first project, you got it out there, you're getting good feedback. You got to be able to sing. A lot of the times, people may not gravitate immediately to the song. You got to put it in their face.
Yeah.
But it's a good thing that, because I've done it before too, where depending on what show, I did a little bit of rapping and perform, but I never paid for shows. But the ones that I did, I knew that I was going to be on rotation for a radio station all the time. And I knew they were going to be on all the marketing, all the posters. And I knew they were going to get a good time to perform and opening up for like Snow the Product or something like that.
Yeah.
So, and a booth, so I can have merch, so I can move things. So all those things incorporated, maybe what, 1,200 or something like that.
Yeah.
For an event that is one of the biggest one in town, it's not a bad deal.
No.
Yeah.
So
And people are funny. Some people would just take your money just to perform in front of 10 people. And that's not cool.
No.
But if it's worth it, like there's myths about Master P buying 20,000 copies of his own CD just so you can see that the units were moving, and labels all of a sudden was like, oh, there's 20,000 units being moved. And all of a sudden now we're going to talk to you. We want to talk to you because on paper it looks like you're moving so many units. If that's a myth, my bad. I made it up. But I hear stories like that of different artists doing different things to be able to like draw attention to the labels. Like, hey, there's movement over here. What's going on here? Let me see.
Yeah.
So I'm not against the idea of paying shows, but it's pretty cool that you are now being strategic as far as where you want to go, or the shows that you want to be. Not just like you're so passionate about the project that you did and you want to see everybody. And no matter if there's 2 or 3 people, here you go, take my money, let me just put it. No, it's going to be more of like, this is the ones more selective.
Yes.
And this is one of, I get more people to see it. The likelihood of you getting more fans and people introduced to your music is way higher than just performing for a couple people.
Yeah.
Which is not bad if it's the homie. Sometimes, you got to papers that you want to do to them, that they book you, whatever,
Yeah.
But you got to understand it's an investment.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and I know I've started, or my team and I have started looking at it as, this is our brand. We have to build this brand. It's a business. So there's shows that we're going to pay for. And then there's other shows that be like, is it worth it? We talk about it. It's like, hey, is it worth doing? And if it is, then we do it. If not, then it's like, nah, that's fine. We'll pass and we'll go, there'll be other shows. Or stuff like that, or just stay focused on doing shows, or stay focused on recording. So,
you have a merch that you get to be like post a booth for yourself while you do some of the shows.
Yeah, some shows, yes, I do. And some I don't, but it's not because they won't let me. It's just sometimes I'll be like, oh, now I ran out and I have to re-up it. I haven't had time to re-up yet, so I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna do the show and I'll promote and I mean right now I don't have my merch online. I do have a website.
Yeah, legit website too. Go check it out.
I do have a website, but we're working on trying to get like merchandise, everything on the website. So I got to get with my my guy that does my websites for me, and takes time and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
And we got to set everything up, make sure everything works after it's set up and stuff like that. So, but it is coming. It is coming.
That's pretty cool. Hey, even a little flyer poster with your picture with a QR code to go to your music, hey, that goes a long way. We just passing it out. As long as you have a table that people can see it, like, hey, this is my stuff. Go check it out.
Yeah,
it goes a long way.
Yes, definitely.
That's pretty dope. Okay, so now that you finished this EP, you were mentioning earlier, you were working on a new project.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have the name for the project yet?
No, yet. Not yet. I don't have a name. Just been recording. I know I was thinking about going back and forth, like kind of, I guess, merging, my EP with some of the new records and kind of just making an album. But we're still going back and forth. So I'm like, the idea will hit me. Right now I'm just really just focused on, just recording new material. So once we knock out one record, okay, let's go to the next one. And till we, with this project, I want to be, this project, I'm gonna write a little bit more on this one and produce a little bit more on this one as well. But I also want to, be like, okay, pick and choose. All right, this one's gonna be the single. This is gonna be the first thing we're gonna drop from this one, or stuff like that. We got to shoot a video for this and make sure that everything's planned out strategic. Make sure we have the budget for it, stuff like that. So that all comes into play too, because being independent, you gotta. It's pretty much you have to come up with the money. It's not like you have investors or and eventually if the brand Ravi Music does get investors, then hey, that's definitely a plus. We would definitely we definitely would like to get investors, but in the meantime, we're like I said, we have to have a certain budget to where, hey, do we go this way? Would it cost this much, or this one's a little bit cheaper? Like I said, but we most likely probably we'll go with the cheaper price. But what I also do is I also like to check the quality of work, because sometimes it could be cheaper, but the quality is good, or it's better than the the other price where it's higher and they it's just like, it's good, but it's you're looking more for at this like with videos, stuff like that. So music videos. So that's why I like with music videos or like videographers. I said, let me check out their work, and I'll check out if it's two of them, I'll check out both of them and see who where they're at as far as videography, and then if I like the way they shoot, how much are they, and then how much are they, and then okay, well let's right, what's in the budget. That's what I'm saying.
So all these things I'm guessing, is some of the things that you learned from your first project to be able to incorporate on this one, that you're able to do better than you did last time.
Yes, and just I guess make sure the music, keeping the music, I guess you could say relevant.
Yeah.
So that's on this project, kind of. That's what I'm thinking more about, still keeping it R&B, but keeping it, I guess, more relevant. So it'll be a mixture of this project will probably be a mixture of it'll be R&B, but it'll probably be a mixture of pop, maybe some hip hop in there, maybe
reggaeton,
maybe even a little of that too.
Nice.
Yeah, even a little of that too as well. I was talking with my team about that, and I was like, I think do some like a reggaeton, like in English and Spanish, which I think it'll be pretty cool. So
absolutely.
You could that could definitely be in the works. For this next project. So that's what I'm saying. It's just, that's why right now I'm just focused on recording, because there's different things I want to try and say, okay, now once we, get it done and have it all together to, okay, let's drop this, let's see how, how this work, how these songs play and see what the fans think about it.
How many songs, finished, completed songs do you think you already have in the vault, or they're just rough drafts waiting to be mixed and mastered?
I have 2 that are already mixed and mastered. But I said 2, mixed and mastered. I have see, that's 2. I got, well, actually, I'm sorry, I got 3 that's mixed and mastered.
Nice.
I got 3 of them already that's mixed and mastered, and then I think I have 2 or 3 more of just the songs that are completed vocally, but haven't been but just as far as the whole together, but it's probably like probably have 2 or 3 that still haven't been mixed and mastered yet. They have a like a rough mix,
right?
But they're not the mix and master. But all the vocals, everything is there.
And it's going to be a leading single for the project before you go into full blast, going and with the EP. It's gonna be an EP, I'm guessing, still, or
I want to do an EP. I know I've talked with my team as well, and we kind of go back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Should it be an EP? Should it be an album? I'm still kind of leaning more to EP, but we'll see. I mean, because I think I would have to build my name more to the point to where people are more just wanting to hear more of a bigger playlist of songs for me, like album instead of an EP. Because I mean, I got to me still building my brand and still building my sound. I don't know if that'll be the best move right now. That's one thing. So I don't know. I have to talk with my team, and we'll see what we come up with.
Cool. And do you have a particular time frame, like a general estimate of when it's going to be dropping? Is it going to be still at the end of this year, or could it be probably sometime during 2024? Realistically.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I'm hoping to drop at least one of the singles before the end of this year.
Nice.
If not, it'll definitely be next year for sure.
Awesome.
It'll definitely be next year for sure, and then hopefully the rest have other singles next year as well. But I'm trying at least have one of them dropping. Hopefully, because the year's almost out, so hopefully get get one of the singles to drop before the year's out. If not, then it'll be definitely next
Well, you
year.
got 3 ready to go.
Yeah, definitely.
You definitely are take it serious, because you've been all over the place too. Not only here in Dallas, you're in Dallas today, but you've been to Tulsa, you've been to Miami, you've been to Atlanta, and of course you're from Houston performing some of the shows there. So how did those opportunities come to be as far as performing all over these places?
Just reaching out and pretty much just going to get it, man. Like I was like, man, I want to do shows, and I love doing shows in my city, Houston, Texas, my hometown. I love doing shows, but I was like, I gotta get my brand outside of Houston, outside of Texas, and I was I talked with my team about that, and they were like, let's do it. It's a good idea. Let's do it. So, my team and I started just kind of reaching out to different events or festivals that we heard of that were in different states, and they're either gonna email you back or they're not. So it was like, hey,
shout out to the person that emailed me.
Yeah.
I got an email too.
Yeah, so
that's how we got him. And very professional, by the way.
Yeah,
very not like, hey, put me on right now. No, it's more like, hey, this is who I am. This is who he is. This is what he's done. This that. Hey, were you interested?
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, what's up? Let's do it. Very nice. Very nice.
Yes, definitely. I definitely gotta give it up to my team, because I mean, my team this far in my career is really what helped me get to where I'm at, and still, I mean, we still got a long way to go, but I mean, it's I can see the growth, I can see the progression. It's happening. It may be little by little, but I see the progression happening. So we just got to stay consistent, stay focused, and just keep our mind on the prize, and just stay focused. Like what we've been doing has been working, so that's what we're just gonna be consistent doing that.
It's the right approach. Don't go to the DM demanding the interview, por favor. Don't do it. Especially if you started doing it. You got a long way to go. I'm sorry. We want people to be doing it for some time. Nothing against your dreams, but there's a way to ask correctly. As David and I talk about TDM, don't be in the DM talking about just send me a link, check my song out.
Yeah.
First of all, I don't know so many freaking people hacking your account.
Yeah.
I'm not about to click a link that I don't know.
Exactly.
Professionally sent email. Where it came from, all of a sudden there's a website, check it out, like, hey, look at this, beautiful. So get off the DMs.
Shout out to my boy David with the Them Mexicans, man.
TDM Mexicans,
gotta
TDM
represent, man.
House.
TDM David out of Houston, Texas, man. But I gotta represent, man.
Shout out to the homie.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty cool. You got yourself out there. How was the performing out of town, out of state? How was the feeling? How was the experience overall?
Oh man, it was definitely fun. I mean, definitely good experience. I've seen the I guess the love and support that they give me. I was like, that I wasn't expecting. Really? I'm like, wow. So building my fan base out there too. So I'm pretty sure I got fans in like Miami, Tulsa, Oklahoma now, stuff like that. And I know in Miami, when I performed out there, I had one of the radio stations after play my like 2 or 3 of my records. After when we were back in Houston, they have like an internet radio stations they played out there. So I'm like, man, so I really do appreciate it, man. And so it's just building a fan base, building relationships as well,
Yeah.
to where you can come back and do those festivals and again the next year, or you know um you know network and build relationship with other artists to do collaborations. And I'm always down, or always down for collaborations with
Do you
with
have a
any
lot of
artist.
collaborations right now to date?
Not a lot, but I mean I'm willing to work with anybody. Doesn't matter genre like that. I'm just I'm really just willing to work. I do have a couple. I do have a collabo that I've did that we're actually promoting the record, and we also have a video for it.
Nice.
It's called Crown of Champagne, by my boy Overflow, featuring myself. That video's on my YouTube page. So um um you can definitely check it out. Definitely check it out on.
Make sure she good.
Yeah.
Be passing out now. Don't drop. We keeping the real here. We ain't
Yeah.
we got the lady.
Yeah.
Had some food, but we good.
She.
Keep an eye on her.
Yeah. She's good. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So y'all have the video. Yeah. How do y'all get together?
Actually, I met my boy Overflow through actually my wife. Like of course she's definitely part of my team, and we were actually trying to get shirts, or we were getting shirts made, and we were gonna go pick him up, and he was there at the same place getting shirts done, I guess, for his brand, and that's when we started talking. He's like, "Oh yeah, man, I rap too," and stuff like that. I was like, "Okay," and we just started networking, and I think I got his social media, he got mine, and he saw I sing and stuff like that, and then I told him, I said, "Yeah, man, let's do a record together," stuff like that. So it didn't happen right away, but eventually, because he produces too, and so he wanted to get the right track. It wasn't just jump on any track with me.
Right.
He wanted to get the right track, and so when he found that right track, he called me and said, "Rob, I got it. I got the song I Want You On," and I was like, "Let's do it." And so we started recording it and recorded at his studio. Got it done, and got it. He took it. He took it to Bruce Bang to get it mixed.
Nice.
Shout out to Bruce.
Yeah,
Bang.
you're the same individual for it.
Yeah, and Bruce did his thing on it, mixed it, brought it to life, and then after that we shot a video, and it became the record it is now, Crown of Champagne.
Nice.
Crown
of Champagne.
Crown or Champagne.
Crown or Champagne.
Yeah, so it's
You're gonna get ratchet or classic.
Yeah, and it has more of an older school like R&B type feel, but it's more of a feel good record. It's like just get up and party and dance if you want to dance, or if you want to just lay back and drink. It's just more just just has more of a, I guess you could say, a little bit older school feel, but it's a feel good record. It feels good, and makes you want to dance if you want to dance.
Yeah.
So.
Tell me your most memorable event to date for you. What was the one that you really stood out, that you really enjoyed doing it, performing at that place, wherever the venue was at, whether it was a lot of people, whether it was just for whatever reason it felt special to you?
There was a lot of them. There was a few shows. I know one that sticks out in my head was earlier this year when we performed. I performed at the Heatwave Car Show in South Padre Island. They had me perform Saturday and Sunday.
Oh wow,
and
2 days.
Yeah, 2 days at the car show, and it was just, I guess it's just the atmosphere, the way the people or the fans, they just, I guess they were rocking with me on as far as with my music and stuff, and I was like, wasn't expecting it, but I mean, I was seeing it, I'm like, wow, and so it just kind of gave me more energy to want to continue to go on my show, and I was like, well, I told my team afterwards, I was like, yo, I really enjoyed, performing here, and hopefully next year we can get back out there and perform again for them. It was at the Heatwave Car Show in South Padre Island. It was more for like spring break.
Yeah.
So it was earlier this year, but
was it by the beach, by the water?
Yes.
I was from different people.
Yeah, it was it's South Padre Island Convention Center, I think, something like that. It's by the water.
Nice.
So yeah, but I performed inside. It was because they had it outside, and then they also had like an event center inside, and so that was definitely one of my favorites. I loved it. Loved the response that we got. Just, and shout out to all the fans out there, man. We made made new fans out there. They're now follow around V and stuff like that. So yeah. So I mean, and then I guess you could say um I know Atlanta was fun. So I know there was I think there was a rep from Atlantic Records that was there
Oh wow.
in Atlanta. So yeah, so kind of the promoter of that got me out there to perform. She told me, she was like, hey, the rep from Atlantic Records wants to speak to you. I'm like, oh, okay, and then so I spoke with her and briefly. So it was good to at least get the attention and be like, hey, and so that right there was just motivation. Hey man, I got to. I mean, I've already had I already got motivation, but I was like, okay, if I can get that attention, I got to just keep pushing harder to where I get more labels or even get them get to where we can actually meet up and maybe and possibly discussing a deal.
What did they tell you? What did he tell you that time? You just want to meet who you were?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I met with her and she was briefly, because I know there was a lot of different artists as well performing. Yeah, she was just telling me she really enjoyed and she loved my performance that I did in Atlanta. She really really wanted. She told me that she really wanted to see, or was excited for like the my future as far as doing music, as far as me doing R&B. She said I'm excited. I really enjoyed your show, or my performance. So I was like, man, that I mean, because like I said, I criticize myself too on my shows. I mean, you can ask my team. I'm like, oh man, I don't like that. I don't sound right I didn't sound right here, and I shouldn't have said this, or I talked too much on this part, or I sang too much. I criticize myself. So I mean, just some having somebody from a major label telling me, hey, I really enjoyed your performance. That makes me want to go a million times harder. So
absolutely. Yeah. So being a Mexican American R&B, Latinos, Mexican Americans, you can count them in one hand because there's not a lot of them. What is the positive feedback that you've received, and also the negative feedback?
Positive feedback would be just the response after I do my shows of the fans that are like, hey, hey, we really enjoyed your show. They want to network and we exchange social medias, or they even want to do collaborations with me. So I'm like, hey, absolutely. I'm like, let's work. Like I said, I'm willing to work with anybody. It doesn't matter the genre. Just I guess the response I'm getting, the positive responses I'm getting from that, and then also too just the inspiration, because I feel like I'm inspiring other artists as well. Nice. So like just like other inspiration, being an inspiration to the other artists as well. So that's the positivity I feel like I'm getting, or that I'm seeing as far as the doing music in the music industry,
which is R&B.
Yeah,
that's
R&B.
what mostly you do.
Yeah.
What about the not so pleasant comments that you receive? The most criticism that you receive?
Yeah,
from people, and from what kind of people?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like they always say, if you don't have haters, you're not doing something right. So, that just comes with the territory. That comes with you doing what you love to do. So, yeah, I've definitely had negative responses, or I guess you could say not necessarily verbal negative, but you could just kind of tell by how their actions towards you, like to where how they kind of like they don't necessarily say it, but they just don't include you. And that's what I've noticed, and I was like, but I've dealt with that a lot, like that not being included. I'm in the same genre, or I'm representing my people, whatever, and it's just kind of sometimes I've kind of just gotten that cold shoulder. I'm like, that's fine.
Because predominantly R&B is Black Mexican American. I'm sorry, African American.
Yes,
it's not really Latino thing. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
Frankie J,
yeah,
the only one that kind of stands to mind. Maybe sure
yeah,
there's a few others, but hardly ever.
yeah.
You know?
And speaking of Frankie J, that's who I always get compared to.
Yeah.
Like I always get compared to Frankie J. That's what a lot of people once I get off stage, man, you remind me of Frankie J. And I'm like, and that's to me that's a compliment.
Yeah.
That's to be compared to him. I mean, to me as a solo artist, being Mexican American doing R&B, I feel like him as a solo artist, he opened the doors. That's what I feel like, because of course he took the chance coming from the Cumbia Kings doing cumbias, and then you cross over and do, coming in R&B in the English market, to where it wasn't known to see a Mexican or a Mexican American singing R&B, and to me, I feel like he opened the doors for artists like myself,
Yeah.
and that's why I always, he's one of my favorite. I have him as one of my top. He's one of my favorites vocally.
Yeah.
I think he's a beast vocally. He can sing, and then just him taking that chance and opening the doors for, like Chicano, Mexican American or the Latino artists like that want to do urban music, that want to, say, hey, I know I'm Mexican, or I know I'm Latino, but I love R&B, or I love hip hop, or I love rap and stuff like that, and opening the doors, that's a big deal. So,
Speaking of your top people, what will be some top 5 collaborations, whether it be rap, whether it be R&B, that you would like to do? Can you give me your top 5? Do you have 5?
the top, okay. Well, R&B, top 5 for, of course, Frankie J, Usher. Definitely would love to work with Usher. I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot I definitely like to work with. I mean, a lot of the.
What about hip hop, rap? Which ones would you be?
There's definitely a few in hip hop as well. I know. Like I would say, like Bun B, from music. I would like to. Definitely do. Or that's one of my top 5. I would definitely like to do a song with Bun B. That'd be classic.
Legend.
Legend. Yeah. I'll say, I guess 50 Cent. Man, it's definitely a lot of them. Yeah, that would definitely.
We'll
be
leave it at them for now. We got the last one pending.
Yeah.
We are running short on time. Again, I appreciate you very much your time, sharing your story, telling us about the music, how you got into the music, and good luck with your project you got coming up. Before I let you go, let me know all your social media. Where can they reach you at? Where can people find you?
Yes, social media. Y'all can follow me, find me on all social media at Rob V Music. That's ROBV Music. And you can also check me out on my website, www.robvmusic.com.
Awesome. And I know you have the project. You're still working on it. You don't have a particular date yet that you have a release, but there's an EP that is going to be coming from you. Is there any particular shows here, probably in a month or so, that you have coming up?
Yes, actually, I have a show tonight. As soon as we leave here.
Oh, really? You have one in Dallas?
Yeah, I have one. Yeah, and actually, this will be actually my first performance in Dallas. I've never performed in Dallas, and I'm excited. I think it was at Abbey Lounge. I think it's called Abbey Lounge, but it's a hookah lounge. I don't know if I'm saying it right. If I'm saying it wrong, I'm sorry. But Abbey Lounge is a hookah lounge.
Should have found the flyer and checked it out yourself.
Yeah, it's a hookah lounge. But I definitely want to give a shout out to Soaring High Entertainment, Kay with Soaring High Entertainment, for getting me on the show. So that's one of our promoters, our go-to promoters. That's that we get a lot of shows through. As
Is there a particular headliner, or is it just something you're doing?
I'm not headlining. But I think it's I'm performing as well. I know I think I'm pretty sure there's other artists as well that are performing. Might be more Dallas-based artists, so I'm not for sure who's all performing, but shout out to the other artists that are performing as well. So
you never know where a collab can be done from people from here.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. And then, no, I don't mean to cut you. I'm sorry. And then I know in November, the first weekend in November, I'll be performing at Loudfest. I don't know if you ever heard of Loudfest,
yes,
but it's
Loudfest
Loud Music. They're putting on that Loudfest, and I will be one of the artists performing at Loud Fest, which will be November 4th and November 5th.
Where? Houston?
In Houston, Texas. Yes.
Nice. You got that one coming.
Yes.
That's a big deal.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's a big deal.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Any shout outs that you have? Any shout out that you have before I let you go?
I want to shout out to my team, my RVM team, man. Everybody that's on the team, man. Hey, wouldn't be here without y'all. You know, we're like I said, we'll just stay focused. We're gonna stay grinding and keep growing. Awesome. So I want to give a shout out to them. Of course, want to thank God just for for waking up this morning as well, and just another day to pursue what I love to do.
And for giving you a gift of the voice, because I mean, I definitely can talk, but I can't sing. Can't carry it. So I'm thinking about taking some classes just to know a little bit, but I'm just not a singer.
I got you. I got
the voice of a singer. I mean, I have like I sound like I could sing, but I can't sing.
Yeah,
I don't know how to project, where it comes out. Yeah. I know I have singers here that use your whole body. I'm like, how? How?
Yeah, I know. Right?
You just use your voice.
Yeah,
you're talking about your whole body. I'm like, I need to work on that.
Yeah, I need to work on it. Figure out how to do that.
Yeah.
Definitely thank God. I have to always thank my maker. Definitely want to thank the fans. Everybody who's been rocking with Ravi and Ravi Music and my team. Appreciate y'all so much. Appreciate y'all for believing. And like I said, we're gonna keep growing together, and I'm gonna keep giving y'all good music, good R&B music, just good music. Period. And y'all definitely be expecting new material, and definitely will be. I forgot to mention, definitely you will on this next project. You definitely will hear some Spanish English, English Spanish, nice. Spanglish stuff. So yeah, I gotta incorporate that as well. So
absolutely.
So y'all definitely, I got something for the fans as well. So y'all definitely gonna like that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What is an important lesson that you learn in the music business
mm-hmm.
that you would tell your younger self that will help somebody else out?
Well, I would say I'll tell my younger self to stay focused, be consistent, and one of the main things is believe in yourself 100%. Don't doubt yourself, don't doubt your abilities. Stay, you were blessed, so you use what God blessed you with, and stay focused. Study your craft. Make sure, that's what I'll definitely tell my young. Make sure you study your craft. Make sure you know. You're not gonna know everything, but as long as you study your craft and you make sure you perfect the voice and you perfect just your knowledge of the industry as well, not just having the talent, but also having the knowledge to know how to strategize and where to take your career and stuff like that, and building your team and knowing who to have on your team, stuff like that. So
awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, if you're gonna bet on anybody, might as well bet on yourself. Put the money in.
Exactly.
If you believe it, you'll put it forth, knowing that you have a vision of the things that you want to and where to want to go to, because some people might not believe it or see it yet.
Yes.
But if you see it and bet on yourself, you'll get there eventually.
Yes, definitely.
Another question. This was a little deeper.
Yes.
Usually when I wake up, and if not throughout the day, I remind myself I'm not immortal. I am mortal, and I will die one day. That's not to scare me or to make me think that I'm going to go. I heard it from a gentleman, and I really liked it, and that just really makes me remember that I'm not here forever. I need to do stuff immediately, because whether we want it or not, it's just a part of life. We're not here forever. With that, I wish you a long, prosperous life. However, after everything's said and done, what do you want people to think or feel about your life?
Well, I want people to think is that he gave it his all. Like, I want people to say, that he gave it his all, that he followed his dreams, and not letting anyone or anything keep him from following his dreams, and just being happy, and just hopefully too, my music inspires the next generation to where they after I'm gone, my music inspires other artists to want to create good music, beautiful music, inspiring music, stuff like to help people, whether it makes them feel happy, sad, or cry, whatever. But to just inspire other people as well. So.
Awesome. That's amazing. I truly, any artist that comes or any individual, it don't have to be artists. We're not just an artist podcast. We're entrepreneurs. We're artists, singers, songwriters, whatever, clothing line businesses, any kind of Latino, Mexican American that has a path, whether it be veterinarian, whatever the case might be, any path of life, Latino, I want on the podcast. I appreciate the people that reach out to me, especially from far away, Houston. It's not a short drive, but at the end of the day, it says a lot about you as far as wanting to do what you are doing with that, because otherwise you would just see it on social media and never take it anywhere.
Exactly.
You just be there. And again, I didn't know your story. They sent me some information. I looked into it. I'm like, that's pretty cool. With you being it and continues to do it. Not to mention, again, being a Mexican American that in a genre that you don't see a lot of us in it. It'll be pretty cool that you are doing it. It's pretty cool that you are doing it. Not to mention, who knows how many people are going to be able to tune in. Little kids, younger kids will be able to see that, hey, like we mentioned earlier, you don't necessarily just have to be the dishwasher. The people that cut yards, landscaper, whatever. Nothing wrong with that.
No.
But again, you can still
there's
go for
other options.
more.
Yeah, there's more.
Definitely other options.
Yes.
And I appreciate the fact that you're doing it, because again, I don't know too many of people that are doing R&B. And if you continue to do it, I hope you grow bigger and better. And with all that, I appreciate the time, appreciate the seriousness, and without a doubt, Rob V, you are a global Latin factor. Thank you very much for being here. I appreciate it, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
This was another episode of the Global Latin Factor podcast. Remember, we are just like you. Remember to subscribe. And remember, we are just like you. We are the spice in this melting pot that it is the world. Till next time. Thank you very much for checking out this episode of the Global Latin Factor podcast. Make sure you go and subscribe to the channel. Check out the content and the episodes that we have ready for you. Thank you very much. Till next time.
Pero but in fact is a flamingo coming to Havana and from Puerto Rico.